Once that you were accepted to Point Park University, what was the biggest adaptation you had to make to moving to the East Coast?
I think the whole thing was a culture shock, honestly, because I had grown up like always on the West Coast, and especially like coming from Bainbridge Island, it's a very closed community. Well, maybe not closed, but it's a very sheltered community. There's not a lot of diversity. Most of the people who live here come from a lot of privilege. Yeah, so it was very like being exposed to so many different people from so many different places and like backgrounds and all of those things was very eye-opening for me. And I also feel like people on the East Coast are a lot more direct, I would say, which was also a bit, and I'm like not a very confrontational person, so that was also something to navigate as well. And Pittsburgh's very much like a sports town. Yeah, it's a very like macho sports beer kind of town, which is very, very different from Seattle. Yeah, Seattle's just very much like everyone feels very similar here, and very I don't know, everyone just seems to have like very similar ideas and come from similar backgrounds and places and whatnot. So it was very interesting for me to meet different people and to just to be exposed to people who come from different backgrounds, because I think as great as it is to come from some place that has so much privilege, it living in a microcosm of that definitely doesn't give you the chance to be exposed to the rest of the world and everything.
How did you prepare and organize yourself for a full-time academic schedule?
It was very, very challenging. I danced, especially freshman year. I had class from 8 a.m. and then my last class ended at 5:50. So it was a very long day. And I would have a mix of, I had ballet every morning, and then I'd have an academic, and then I would have another ballet class, and then I would have, a modern class, a jazz class, and then another academic. And then, so it's a lot of, kind of shifting gears, shifting your brain back and forth. And the thing is, the dance schedule is a lot more time commitment than like being like an academic student, because I still had to take all the academics as well, so I would still have like a bunch of homework and all this stuff that I needed to do. And so it would be a lot of class time, and then you get off and you have all this stuff that you need to do, so it was definitely a lot to manage. And I've also worked every semester that I've been in college. Freshman year I worked at the school. I did work study, and I worked in the school gym, and that was very beneficial because that job was very I had a lot of downtime. I was mostly just sitting at the front desk, so I didn't have to do a lot. So I was able to get a lot of homework done while working there, which was very, very helpful. And that was a really good way to like be able to time manage and get everything together. But the more I was able to stay organized and keep a calendar, keep track of all the things that I had to do, and that helped a lot.
What specific physical demands did you encounter that made keeping your equilibrium difficult?
It was a lot on my body. I also suffered from some injuries as well due to overuse and whatnot, and especially freshman year when I was living in the dorms, I had to eat in the dining hall, and the dining hall was a big factor freshman year, because freshman year you have the heaviest schedule. After that, it kind of, it's always very intense, but freshman year especially, they really put you in all the really heavy technique classes. You're just going all day. And the dining hall was really, really bad. Like the food there was, it was bad. And it also, there was a lot of like health inspection issues. It was not, I was definitely not getting the proper nourishment that I needed to maintain the physical health that I wanted to be in. However, this got a lot easier sophomore, junior, and senior year because I lived on my own. So I was able to cook all my own food and bring snacks and all that stuff. So it got a lot better. But yeah, the physical demands on your body definitely take a lot out of you. And it is very hard to, maintain that balance when you're being asked so much all the time. But to the extent that you can, making sure you're taking care of your diet, making sure you're taking advantage of resources to help your body. We had Point Park had a physical therapist that worked for the school for the dancers. So anytime there was like an issue and I had like something going on, or I sprained my ankle a lot, I was able to go and see Patrick, who's the physical therapist, and he was able to, give corrections and adjustments and PT exercises, and they have a bunch of stuff. They have like an ice machine, a bunch of like exercise balls, cupping supplies, tape, all of that stuff. So that was very, very helpful in making sure I was able to stay on top, because keeping your physical self as up to date as possible is very, very important. And it's easy to like something kind of hurts a little and then something else hurts and it all just kind of piles on, and if you wait to take care of your body, it can just spiral and then you get injured. So, yeah.
Did many of your non-performing college peers understand the unique requirements dance majors are obliged to follow?
I would say no. I had a really good amount of academic friends. I had a lot of friends that were doing psychology and like broadcasting and that type of thing. I also had a couple friends that were photography majors as well, which, while still part of the arts, their structure was a lot different. And for academic majors, they would only have about 2 classes a day, whereas I would have usually like 4 to 5 classes a day. And then freshman year, it's like 5 to 6 classes a day. So, but the thing with academic students is they did have a lot more homework than I did. But with having like 2 classes a day, you have a lot more time to do that. Whereas like I had a lot of homework, but I also had, I was in class from 9 to, like almost 6 every day. And then I also worked outside of that as well. I mentioned freshman year I worked at, I did work study, but sophomore year onwards, I did restaurant jobs, which was very time consuming and, demanding and whatnot. So it was definitely hard to really, I feel like it was very hard for my academic friends to, understand what was being asked of me and how much pressure that is. I also think, going into a dance field as well, job security is not really there for dancers at all. Whereas, if you're, like doing psychology or doing, more of a traditional college path, sometimes it can, I feel like everyone's stressed about not getting a job, but it can I don't know, I feel like dancers or any sort of artist, you have that extra pressure of, wanting to succeed and make money and be able to support yourself.
What advice would you give to potential dance majors to prepare for the physical demands required?
Listen to what your body needs, always, I think. I was really on top of it with, especially when I did have access to my own kitchen, I was really on top of it with making sure that I was eating properly, that I was being properly nourished, that I was, listening to what my body needed injury-wise, if I needed to stretch, if I needed to be strengthening anything in particular. I paid a lot of attention to the overall, like what my body needed. And that varies day to day too. And also, some days are a lot more intense than other days. So I just listening to your body and being proactive with helping yourself. I also think dancers have a tendency to ignore when we feel pain, when we feel injury, when we feel tired. We like to ignore that because there's this sense of, grit. And like, if you just keep pushing and keep trying, you're, there's like merit in that. But I think, to be a healthy dancer, sometimes it's okay. Like I think knowing that it's okay to take a break when you need to take a break, or, taking a second and adjusting something or modifying something to, accommodate what your body needs. Just knowing that that's okay. And the longevity of your dance career is going to come from being proactive about that and listening to yourself and not letting the dancer guilt, take hold of you when you do need to take that break.
What percentage of individuals drop out of the program between freshman year and graduation?
A lot. I'm not sure. So Point Park is considered a weed out program, which basically means that there are a lot of kids who like would graduate high school, and dance was like something that they did, like, because in high school dance is like a separate thing. You know, you go to school every day and then you have dance and all night and all that. But in college, dance is like, that's your day. Your day is just dancing all day, every day. Yeah, every single day. And there's a lot of pressure to perform, to want to, you know, there's a lot of hierarchy within the dance program as well. So there's a lot of pressure there. And I think a lot of people came into the program thinking that this was like what they wanted and what, you know, they wanted to pursue. And I think once they were in that environment and were really exposed to dancing at that level every single day, a lot of them decided that that wasn't for them and wanted to pursue other things. I'm not entirely sure what the percentage is, but I would say my class came in with maybe about like 90 kids, something like that. And I graduated with about 60 or so in my class. So I would say, yeah, so I would say a good amount. I feel like every year, every semester, like at least a couple people would leave. Because it really, I mean, the thing with the program is it either confirms that this is what you want to do, or it shows you that that's not it, which is a good thing, I think. I think the importance of advocating for yourself and showing up, because I wasn't born amazing. Like, I feel like a lot of I don't know, I wasn't naturally flexible. I didn't like, a lot of those things didn't come naturally to me, and which, especially when I was younger, was very frustrating for me. But I think I really learned that, you know, showing up and just being there 100%, you know, talking to your teachers, showing the people that you're working with that you want to be there, that you care about it, just showing people that you care, because your teachers are so much more likely to help you if you know, show that you want to be helped and and it's important to you. And I think just like knowing that it wasn't going to come easily to me just really pushed me to try extra hard. And yeah, and I think just always showing up. You know, your grade is your attendance, but it's not even just like about the grade. It's about like for you, because ultimately you're going to get out of the program what you put into the program. And if you show up to class and you try and you just keep going forward, I think good things will always happen. And I also think, you know, with the casting and the hierarchy, it was so hard, like, you know, dealing with rejection and dealing with, you know, feeling like feelings of self-doubt, but just not letting that drag you down, and letting that instead push you even more to keep going and to keep doing the thing. Because the more you're resilient in the face of, you know, being rejected, I think that it's going to pay off ultimately.